Hello everybody, it is day 3 of your home learning project on famous scientists and inventors. This would have been your last week at school, so it's probably good to mention that on Thursday would probably have been sports day, and Friday would have been the day that you spent with your new tutor. Now, what we've decided in science is that you will set our home learning tasks until today, so Wednesday, and then on Thursday we'll set you a task that is you doing your own research on a famous scientist of your choice. And it can be anybody. It doesn't have to be somebody obscure like what we've been doing or somebody you've not heard of. It can be Darwin, it can be Edison or Marie Curie or someone you are interested in. And then on Friday, we're going to give everybody a kind of break and give people a chance to catch up on any work they might have missed on that Friday. Or if you've done all the work, then you have a day of kind of what would have done at school. It would have been a day of getting to know your tutor. We will do the Kahoot kind of quiz online and also do the results. So we'll see who wins the raffle and who's going to get a prize when they come back to school. And it'll just be a nice day. But what we are going to do today is we're going to look at another famous scientist. So you've done Libby Hyman on Monday, the famous biologist who looked at invertebrates and did a lot for kind of the development of the textbooks that we use in science today. And you learnt about an incredible man, Dr. Williams, who did the first open heart surgery despite not having any antiseptic techniques or blood transfusions. So we're going to move on to another person today who's faced challenges because that's what this week's been about. Both of those scientists have faced these challenges or they've come up against prejudices and things against them and it hasn't stopped them. So it's just, you need to instill that in yourself because nothing can stop you if you've got a goal, especially when you learn about this man today. Now, this man had a disability, a very notable one because he couldn't walk and he couldn't talk, and it is Stephen Hawkins. So the first thing you're going to do, because he did a lot in space, is you're just going to tell me what was the first. You're going to think about this question. So what was the first living organism sent into orbit? And you've got some pictures there, so you might want to ask people in your household, or you might want to just have a go yourself. But what do you think? This is a tardigrade. You might want to look them up. They're really interesting. They took them into space. They chucked them out of the window into space where there's no kind of air or atmosphere or anything, and they kind of scraped them back in, and the tardigrades had actually reproduced. They are indestructible and they are really interesting if you actually want to have a look at them. Now we're going to look at Stephen Hawkins today, and he lived an incredible life. He was an intelligent man. And unfortunately, he had this condition called motor neuron disease. But it didn't let him stop him. And he was a medical miracle. He lived until he was 78-year-old with a condition where your life expectancy was severely reduced. So usually between 3 to 5 years, it comes on in adulthood, and then before you deteriorate to the point where you would lose your life quite early. Stephen Hawkins got married, he had children, he did all the normal things that people do. And he also happens to be one of the most intelligent people ever existed. You're going to read a little bit of information about him. I've put some up there. It tells you about his condition, it tells you about his wife, and it just tells you a little bit about his life. And he's an interesting person. It's worth reading that. You are then going to watch the video on the next slide about the condition that Stephen Hawkins had. I'm not going to say much about it. I do want you to learn about it. And if I start saying these words, then you are going to be able to answer these questions without even watching the video. So watch the video and answer these questions, and then read about Stephen Hawking's life a little bit more. So he had this disability, and he lived a really full life despite it. He used to use a wheelchair, had a computer with a voice synthesizer to talk. This condition did continue to deteriorate though, and he lost his life on the 14th of March 2018, so not that long ago, and he was 76, not 78. So it was quite interesting how long he lived and how many things that he contributed to science that you're going to learn about. He is one of the great scientists, there's no doubt. And what he studied was black holes. That was his thing. And he changed the way we understood the universe. He's wrote millions of, but he hasn't wrote millions of books. He's wrote books to help millions to understand the difficult scientific concepts, and he's inspired people around the world with his passion for science and his ability to overcome the horrible difficulty that life dealt him, basically. So I just want you to read that, and I want you to think about it. And when you kind of are having one of those days where you think, I can't do it and I'm going to give up, think about this quote because this man did so much and faced a lot more than most people face in their lifetime. Now, once you've done that, I've done a video about black holes, and you'll need to watch that video. You'll need to think about the information, and you'll need to have a go at the activities that's on there. When you watch that video, it'll explain what you've got to do here, and it will explain what you've got to do here. If you need some more support, you can watch a video on black holes to help you with this task here. And like I say, if you watch my original video, you should be able to do that task. Don't worry if you can't do the practical side of it, just try and visualize it and think about what would happen when you do the things that I am suggesting you do. If you do them, take a video, it'll be amazing to see. Once you've done that, there's nothing really to finish up. So this is your black hole report, and that is the end of this presentation. So it's nice because there's not a great deal to do. You don't have to read loads of information about Stephen Hawkins like you did in the last ones, because I feel like you already would know a lot about him. And then you've just got a little activity on black holes to do. So hopefully you enjoyed doing that. Tomorrow will be an easier lesson because you will